I built a full mobile app in 48 hours with AI without writing a single line of code for both iPhone and Android. But not the way you think, not the nonsense vibe coding videos you see on TikTok. I'm talking about full stack, production ready mobile apps. In this video, I will show you how I use AI to build mobile apps, sharing with you the 9 AI coding rules that you have to follow to build any project with AI the right way. Rules I wish I knew when I started coding with AI. I have been programming for more than 13 years now. I have built more than 100 projects, and in the past 18 months, I've tested almost every AI coding assistant out there. Last week, I gave Devin a try. It's a fully autonomous software engineer with a shell, browser, file system, live testing environments, GitHub integration, Slack integration, and much more. It looked impressive, but I had to test and verify. Okay, let me show you the app in like 10 seconds and then jump into rule number 1 and show you how I build this application. So you can see here we have 4 screens: home, workouts, habits, and profile. This app is designed for people working online who want to stay focused, healthy, and track their habits. So we have here the dashboard, we have the workout section, and we have the habit tracker. They can manage their habits, they can view progress, and the profile, you can change the name, you can turn notifications, and so on. So it's a full application and soon will be available on both Apple Store and Google Play Store. So let's get to the real work and start with rule number 1. Before you write any prompt, you have to understand what you want to build. I call this the project flow. I see people doing this mistake. They open the AI coding assistant, in our case, Devin, and they say, build me a habit tracker app. Don't ever do this. You have to understand what screens you want, what the user will do, what exactly the app will achieve, what's the main goal of the app, what happens when they click here and there. So you have to plan your application first in your head. Maybe draw it on papers, write it down in Google Docs. Just plan your app before writing any prompt. So since we are starting from scratch, let's build the app together using Devin. I see this other mistake many people do. Even if they plan the application, they tell the AI, build me a mobile app to track expenses. I want following features: 1, add income, add expenses, and then they submit and start. Very basic prompt. And from here, we jump into rule number 2, which is using the right prompts or being specific in your prompts. So instead of this, we can say, I am building a mobile app using React Native with Expo. So we define the tech stack we want. We give it a name. And before we start building, I ask Devin, can you help me plan the overall app structure? So here I'm merging rule number 1 with rule number 2 and using AI to help me plan my full application flow. So I need these screens: login screen, dashboard screen, and so on. And please focus on this sentence. This is rule number 3, which is before telling the AI to answer your questions or to generate the code, always tell it to ask you questions to make sure you understand what I want exactly. Believe me, this will save you a lot of time and money. This simple sentence will make the AI ask you specific questions to understand what's in your head and build exactly what you want. So rule number 1 is planning, rule number 2 is specific prompting, and rule number 3 is always telling the AI to ask you questions. Let's start. And perfect. We can see now Devin is asking some questions before planning your app. And here we jump into rule number 4, which is the most important rule, I think. Maybe with rule number 9, we'll see in a little bit. Rule number 4 is about understanding and learning while building. For example, if you are totally new to programming here, how you will understand the difference between local storage and cloud backup sync, how you will answer these questions. And if you answer them wrong, you will have a bad plan and you will not build the app you want. So you need to understand the AI output, you need to read it, and you need to learn in case there's something you don't understand. And what's nice, we can ask the AI about this. For example, I can tell Devin, can you please help me understand more the difference between local storage and cloud sync, and to explain it to you. Or even you can grab this question and go to your preferred language model like ChatGPT or Claude or whatever and chat with it. Or maybe search on Google and read about this and then come back and answer the question. Don't ever answer things or put things that you don't understand. This is crucial, this is critical, this is very important. So you can see here, it explains the difference. You don't understand? Go more in depth. Make sure to learn and enjoy learning while building. For me, I deal with each AI coding session as an educational session. You will learn a lot while building your applications. And a small advice. For example, here we are building with React Native with Expo. If you know nothing about this, at least go and take a crash course on this tech stack. Just go to YouTube, for example. Go to YouTube and search for React Native with Expo, and you'll find a lot of courses like this one, React Native full course. You see this playlist. This one, 30 minutes. Just take a crash course, watch some videos to understand how this tech stack works. In case you want to answer some questions, you have the background. This is very important. Without it, you will fail to build what you want. You will build an application full of bugs that can't be scaled and probably will fail to be a business. So learn and enjoy learning while building. Let me answer these questions. Authentication, I will say Google, expense categories, only personal, calendar functionality, monthly and daily, data sync, local, currency, USD, and that's it. I answered the questions. And you can see now Devin has planned our application, the stack, authentication, currency, directory structure, and so on. Again, don't forget, read the output, understand the output. If there is something unclear, understand it, ask about it before you continue. Now, before rule number 5, we have something in between, which is kickstart your project. This is really very important. So now I will tell Devin, build the app. We will tell Devin to bootstrap it and get our first version based on our plan. Now, this has two main advantages. Number one, it will give you a dopamine pulse when you see your application up and running and you can test it right away inside Devin. And number two, we will have the project ready so we can build on top of it, add features, fix bugs, and we can continue from this point. And this is very important, especially when you see next how we can connect this project with GitHub. So Devin has access directly to this project and we can update easily and push updates to our GitHub repo. So now let's wait for Devin. In a couple of minutes, we will have our app or our first version ready. Let's see. And boom, after a few minutes, Devin created our application. It even created the repo on GitHub. And you can see now we can open the browser inside Devin and you can even test it, like click here and there and so on. You can see the dashboard, the calendar view, expenses, and the profile section. Before I move on, I can simply tell Devin, please expose a public URL. In this way, it will give me a public URL where I can test anywhere, even on my mobile, but in the browser. We will see next how we can turn into an application and run it as an app. But for now, I want to show you this tip, which is very helpful if you are building and testing applications or maybe web applications, so you can test directly in your browser instead of this built-in browser here. You can even expand it if you want, so you can see it this way. Let's see the exposed I will approve. And you can see we get a public URL to test anywhere you want in the browser. But it's way better to test directly on your mobile, and I will show you in a little bit how to do this. But for now, let's move on to rule number 5, which is also very important: task splitting, which is splitting your project into tasks. For example, after you test the application, don't ever say add Apple authentication and a chart to the dashboard and sync to cloud and so on. Don't ever do this. Always tell Devin to create one task at a time. For example, I will tell it now, I want to add a chart to the dashboard to show expenses through the month on a daily basis. So I'm adding only one single feature, one single task, enter, and now Devin will apply and add this task only. And from here we move to rule number 6, which is testing thoroughly. Whenever you add a task or a feature, go again and test your application. Now please focus very well. We have some practical things to do together, and this rule number 7 is very important, which is managing your session size. If you go here to Devin, you will see this small icon here. It will show you the session size, AC usage, and user messages. You can click on this button to view session insights, even generate analysis. But for now, what I want you to focus on is the session size. It's now M, which is medium. You see here, the session is healthy while it is medium. If it's large or X large, it's unhealthy. What does this mean? It means the context size of the session is very big, and the model, the AI model, may probably hallucinate or generate more bugs and so on. So always keep the session size medium. And from here, I will take you to a really super important feature in Devin. Let's go here to settings and then go here to Devin's machine. You will see my mobile app here, Fit Solo, my original application I showed you at the beginning, is here added and verified inside Devin. What this means, whenever I start a new session like this, you see in the repos, I can select Fit Solo directly and continue working on it. It's like installed inside Devin, and you can interact directly. For example, I want to add a simple chart to track streaks in the dashboard page. I'm adding this feature. Look at this. You will see now that automatically it will scan our code base. So it's connected to our GitHub repository, it understands it, and now it will easily continue the project. And you can see here when we start a new session, it is X small. So this is very important. When you add the machine to Devin like this here, in Devin's machine, you connect your repo. This way you save a lot of time for Devin to understand your project again every time, and you will save on costs. Because if you go here to usage and limits, you will see that Devin is based on what we call ACUs, which is the available units you have. What's nice about Devin, there is no monthly commitments. You pay as you go with the core plan. So you can buy for $20 some ACUs and start your project without worrying about subscriptions. You just buy ACUs for $20 and start coding. And adding the repo here inside Devin's machine will help you save on costs and save on time when updating your applications. You can simply add a repo here when you connect with your GitHub and simply search for your Git and search for your repo. For example, simple LLM, start, and it will show you now some tasks to do. Let's see this in a few seconds. So for example, we have first git pull. So it will pull the repo from GitHub. Then we have the secrets, then we have dependencies. And the nice thing here, if you feel anything unclear, you can ask Devin directly. For example, what is setup lint? Again, back to rule number 4, enjoy learning while building. So here, Devin will help you and explain what does this step mean, what does linting mean when building, what are these comments, and so on. Anyway, the idea is you can add your repo here to help you save on costs and time. You see here, it directly started working on the project based on the Fit Solo code base. Fit Solo is my app name. And started adding, this is the plan. And now it's proceeding with the execution. And you will see now, after it's done, it will directly push this update to GitHub. So you can merge it and see it on your GitHub profile. We'll see this in a little bit. Let's wait for this feature to be added. Now, while you are waiting here, we can switch back to our first session, which is building our other application, Solo Spend. And this is a great feature in Devin. We have multiple sessions. You can work on multiple projects at the same time. You don't have to wait for that. For example, when I was testing in the same 48 hours, I built a WordPress plugin and I built a tic-tac-toe LM tournament. I will show you this in a little bit. It's something interesting. So I built 3 projects at the same time: mobile app, WordPress plugin, and an LM research project, working with multiple sessions at the same time. So you can see here we got the new chart feature. Let's open the browser and you can see now here we have the chart. Again, test the feature before moving on. Make sure this is what exactly you want before adding or moving the second task. And here I want to jump into rule number 8. Always focus on the functionality. For example, here, maybe you didn't like the chart colors or the style or the design. Forget about styling and these additional features now. Make sure to focus on the core functionality. Make sure to test if the chart is working as expected, the way you want. If it is working, then we can move on to adding some styles, polishing the app, and so on. So rule number 8, focus on the core functionality first before styling and adding additional features. And you can see this notification here. It tells me that this streak chart finished and shows me this screenshot from the app. And you can see now we have a pull on my GitHub repo. This is because we connected it with Devin. So Devin is now acting as a software engineer in your team. It updates and push to GitHub and shows you exactly what it did, the summary, everything with the visuals, with the screenshot. And you can check this and merge this pull request. This is what I like the most about Devin. It's not just an AI coder. It's like someone in your team, a coding assistant working with you, pushes to GitHub. You can even connect it with Slack, talk with Devin, ask it for something. It will update and put the changes for review. So you can review everything on GitHub before merging with your main branch. Now it's time for rule number 9, which I told you it's the most important rule with number 4. But before that, let me sum up the 8 rules we learned till now. Number 1 is planning before coding. Number 2, being specific in your prompts. Number 3, tell the AI to ask you questions before generating anything. Number 4, understand and learn. Number 5, split your project into tasks. Number 6, test as you go. Number 7, manage your session size. Number 8, focus on the core functionality. And number 9, running a security audit. This is super important. If you don't do this, your application may be full of security vulnerabilities and bugs. So let's assume now that we finished our application and the core functionality is ready. We can simply tell Devin, please analyze the app for any critical security problems and give me a report. What will happen now? Devin will scan the application code that was generated and give you a detailed report for any critical security problems. This is very important. Now, while Devin is analyzing and thinking and generating, let's see how we can run this application directly on your mobile phone. Since this application runs with Expo, you can simply grab your code locally with VS Code or any IDE you want and simply run npm start. After you install it, just run it and you will see now, you will get a web version to test in your browser. Let me show you this. I will open it in my browser and you can see now, this is my Fit Solo app. I can go here to developer tools and select whatever device you want. And you can see the application running in your browser. And if you want to run on mobile, all you have to do on your iPhone or on your Android install an application called Expo Go. This one here, I don't know if you see it. And then open your camera, scan this QR code, just wait a little bit, and boom, the application will be up and running as a native app on your mobile so you can test everything while building. Remember, rule number 6, testing. So make sure to run the application on mobile, test everything, make sure the core functionality is working before moving on. So let's go back to Devon. Perfect. And this is the security analysis report. And here, why I told you in rule number 4 that both 4 and 9 are the most important, because they are connected. Now it will provide you with analysis, and if you are totally new, you need to learn this. You need to understand this. For example, what is input validation? What is data restoration or unvalidated data restoration? What is state verification? What is rate limiting? And so on. Again, enjoy learning while building. This way, you will be building your applications and learning these concepts. So next time you build something, it will be way easier for you to build any project you want. When you understand this, again, you split this into tasks. Rule number 5. So each security problem or a bug is a task. You ask Devon to solve it, then test it, and so on. It's like a feedback loop. You tell Devon to update something, you get the feedback, you test it, and go back to the second step, and so on. I'm not done yet. I want to show you this project I built at the same time while I was building my Fit Solo app. I built this tic-tac-toe simulator, like a tournament battle between two language models playing tic-tac-toe. Let me show you this. I will paste my OpenAI API key. I select here GPT-4o mini and here GPT-4o, and let's play like 5 games. I will click on start, and now both AI models will start playing tic-tac-toe together. And you will see here the stats. You see here we got a draw, it will update stats, and so on. Something cool I built while I was building and testing with Devon. And the other project is an SMTP plugin I built, a full plugin. And you see here the full compliant zip. If you go up here, you will see my final steps was the security analysis. You see the full report. So rule number 9, which is the final rule, is here before going to the final version of my WordPress plugin. Again, remember, Devon is not a replacement. What I like the most about Devon is it really acts as an AI assistant. So you need to understand your project, you need to understand what you want, and to learn so you can interact with Devon correctly to build production-ready apps fast. Now, since you learned the 9 rules of AI coding, I think you're ready to go next and watch this video on replacing WordPress plugins with lightweight AI snippets. If you learned something new today, smash the like button and see you in the upcoming videos.